Don't be fooled by his muscular appearance. He's a doctor by profession. Sports medicine development is his mission. Kent Bazard is the guest in this timeout rap session. Providence High School hoopers making layups en route to Hugh Campbell glory. We fast break over to Grand Bahama for an update there.
I am going to show you how to perform a proper squat.
And a former bikini competitor, your new fitness tip instructor. That and more in this edition of Time Out. But first, this commercial break.
Welcome everybody. I know that you are going to enjoy this exciting edition of The Time Out. I'm your host Charles Fisher, and today we are talking health, fitness, and a little bit of bodybuilding. I'm joined now by Dr. Kent Bazard. Welcome to The Time Out. Look at the difference in physique.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being here.
Thanks a lot for coming along. I understand that you're a master of all kinds of things: athletics, martial arts, softball, basketball, kickboxing. I miss out any?
Couple.
Couple, let's put it a couple.
A couple of things. I'm an ex-football player, sports medicine physician, president of the Martial Arts Federation. So a few things. I'm a musician also. Produced a few songs for KB, and I've been able to do quite a few things.
So now you know this amount of many talent.
Yeah.
Which one do you like the most?
Oh boy, that's hard. I've been an athlete all my life, a competitor all my life. I think my time as a competitive martial artist, when I was on the what's called the United Martial Arts Alliance circuit, when I won the lightweight kickboxing championship, the ISKA, in 1997, and I think that was probably like the height of my heights. It was a really exciting time. I was fighting a lot, fighting every month. And it was really fun. I was in shape, and it was really exciting, So I think that was my favorite time when I was a semi-pro fighter.
So how did you manage the other sports while you were doing that?
Well, when I started fighting, everything took a backseat because how I ended up in martial arts when I was in college. I originally went over on a track and field scholarship, but I had some medical issues that caused me to have to pull out of track and field pretty much permanently. I pulled out since then. And it got me depressed for a while, but I ended up getting back into martial arts, and my instructor, John Venegas, he was a fighter, and he was also a purist in martial arts. But he encouraged us to stay active. And so even though it was kind of a risk, but I went ahead anyway, pushed for it. Started training, and he guided us on that short career, but I was able to achieve a very high achievement in a short amount of time.
You talk about high achievement. Now you're a sports medicine physician. Talk about your medical background. What has inspired you to become into this field?
I started my medical journey in Trinidad at the University of the West Indies, and we complete our clinicals here in the Bahamas. And once I finished, I stayed at the Princess Margaret Hospital for a while, rotated around a few different departments, and ended up in radiology, which turned out to be something that I really loved. And I stayed there for a long time. And it really kind of helped me to build a foundation for sports medicine, because radiology, imaging, anatomy is a big part of sports medicine. And I came across the program just doing some research because, I said, well, I need to do something else with my life. So am I going to go all in with the radiology, or am I going to do something else as a specialty? Came across sports medicine by chance, and realized that I could do it in Jamaica. And so I went ahead and entered the program. And to be quite honest, I thought it was going to be easy, but it was not easy. It was actually very hard, because I know that a lot of people have some misconceptions about the subject itself.
Yeah, I guess I got to ask you a hard but easy question. What is sports medicine?
Yeah, sports medicine is a broad topic, and that's why it's confusing, because a lot of persons don't understand what that means. So sport medicine includes all of the practitioners, from your massage therapist to your physiotherapist, some chiropractors, your orthopedic surgeon, and your medical specialist, who I am. And so that makes it very broad as the general topic of sports medicine. Now, when you say clinical sports medicine, you're talking about your physicians now. You're talking about your surgeon and your medical doctor. So a clinical sports physician is somebody who's had a medical degree and then did a postgraduate degree in sports medicine. And that approach is from a medical side. So it's a bit deeper. There's a lot more detail. There's a lot more medical focus to it because you're talking about the medical management and to some degree minimally invasive and also surgical. So we manage the patient from the aspect of a whole, and so it's a medical approach. So you have to be a medical doctor first.
What type of conditions do you normally treat then?
So we're called the musculoskeletal specialists, right? So anything that has to do with musculoskeletal care, so that's your muscle, bones, and joints, to some degree your nerves and vessels. But you know, the most common things I see, especially here in the Bahamas, are shoulder injuries, back injuries, knee injuries, and ankles with the athletes, hamstring especially, very common in our track and field environment.
You can't say you can't avoid injuries, but what are some of the common things she can do to avoid some of these injuries you're talking about?
Well, it kind of depends. So an accident is an accident, but for athletes, there are some specific things we can do. If you want to take the hamstring as an example, we have a nursery rhyme that we say, that I learned at a conference. Hamstrings must be long and strong. And I repeat that to my athletes over and over. Hamstrings must be long and strong. That means they must have a certain range and they must have a certain strength. We've proven that having this increased range and increased strength is what helps to reduce those hamstring strains and hamstring injuries. Hamstring injuries, or a lot of those other musculoskeletal injuries in athletes, happen mostly because of overuse. If you imagine a car, if you're going to drive a car in our famous potholes every day, you need to have a car that's strong, right? Otherwise, your car is going to fall apart. So if you're going to batter your body every day with practice and all these other things, your body has to be strong. And that's physically strong, and that's also nutritionally strong.
So what do you tell your patients to avoid this type of injury, especially the younger athletes? Because I see them on the track, see them at basketball, young 13-year-old wearing knee brace, ankle brace, all kind of brace at that young age.
So there are a few things. So depending on the sport, some sports have some key injuries that we know happens. In pitchers, they tend to have shoulder injuries. In swimmers, same thing. All the overhead sports, they have shoulder injuries. Track and field, we have your hamstring. You may have your knees and your back in your basketball players. So what I tend to do is create a program for my athletes that address these things before they even happen. That's the first thing. The second thing is you want to get them familiar with nutrition and recovery. And those are the two things that we tend not to think about. We don't think much about what our young athletes are eating. And we tend to think that, you know, because they're young and they're active and they have so much energy that they can just go and go and go and go, and they will, but they will go until they break down. So we have to remember that they have to plan ahead for their recovery. And that recovery can include other professionals in sports medicine, like your massage and physiotherapists. It can include a walk on a beach, just relaxing, you know? So we have to make sure that we look at the athlete as a whole when we talk about injury prevention. So that's your nutrition, making sure your body is fit and up to par so you can manage those potholes, and also make sure that you're engaging in active rest and active recovery.
Lots of knowledge here in the first half with Dr. Ken Bazard. When we come back, we'll talk about what's good and what's not good for the body.
Sports is physics. So if you're pulling 200 newtons on this leg and 100 on the other leg, that means one step you accelerate a certain amount, and then the next step you don't. And you keep repeating that over and over. So it's like this. That's how your race is going. In totality means you're not the fastest person on the track. The fastest person on the track each step is more than the next one. And the person who can do that for the longest, people like Bolt and other fast people, Shelly Ann and the rest of those, every step they take is either the same or the next one is more explosive than the other one. And they maintain that all the way through to the end.
We are back here on the timeout with Dr. Ken Bazard, sports medicine physician. You told us earlier in the show that you did some songs for KB. I think the song, did she like to eat? You did that one? You didn't do that one?
Man.
Because these Bahamians, they love to eat.
Yeah.
And they're eating the wrong things.
Our diet, unfortunately, as good as it tastes, is not healthy. We have a very high caloric intake. Generally, all of our best and favorite foods are very high in calories. Mm-hmm. You know, you go over duff. I love my chicken in the bag. Mm-hmm. Your Johnny cake and those things. Like, probably the most healthy food we have is chicken sauce. We have a very high fast food culture, you know, and that tends to add to the problem that we have with obesity. And as a matter of fact, the Bahamas has actually moved up the ladder in countries in the world in obesity. We were number 6, now we're number 3. And it's something that we're not taking seriously. It sounds, you know, we laugh and we take it for a joke, but obesity causes a lot of morbidity. It causes a lot of damage to your body over time. And it causes a lot of other things like heart conditions and to some degree diabetes and even muscle, bone, and joint problems.
Average Bahamian may say eating healthy is expensive. Going to the gym, getting your body in shape is expensive. Mm-hmm. Doing the right things is expensive. Mm-hmm. I don't have the money for this, so I can go right down the road by the chicken shop, get me one, just go to the 99-cent breakfast, eat that.
I get kind of mean with my patients. That's no excuse. You know it's expensive? Hospital bills. Hospital bills. Coming to see me is expensive. Yeah. Okay, so, and not just me, but I'm saying if you have to go to the hospital and do one study, that's expensive. You know, expensive a renal transplant is, that's expensive. So, you know, there are little hacks that you can do at the same time. You gotta look at what's important, and there's nothing more important than your health.
How do you stay current with the advancement of the field? Because you feel it changes, something new every day.
Well, I subscribe to a few journals. I'm also a member of the American College of Sports Medicine and the National School of Sports Medicine and the American Society for Sports Medicine Physicians. We have annual conferences, and I also attend some other conferences because I'm a sports performance coach as well.
So many titles to your name, just looking at it. Athletics, martial arts, softball, basketball, kickboxing, #1 draft pick in the NBA draft in 1997. Jiu-Jitsu fighting Jake Paul, knocked him out in the second round. And you now own an empire of fitness. How rewarding is that one?
You know, again, an opportunity that kind of came up by the grace of God, and it's now home. You know, acquiring Empire Fitness and combining it with the sports medicine aspect, it just works. It just ties in. It's a place that I love to go every day. Staff is great, the people are great. And like I said, it's really rewarding to go in there and see everybody working hard to improve themselves, you know? And that's the kind of thing that's inspiring and that helps me get through the day and not even think about how long the day was, you know? So being a business owner and working for yourself in the private sector is a challenge always. And COVID was an extreme challenge for us. We were closed for almost 2 years straight. Still having to pay rent and still paying salaries and all that stuff. That was very rough. I always tell people we're still in COVID. We haven't come out of COVID as yet. But it's still rewarding, and we're now starting to bounce back just a little bit. And it's still rewarding to see people still interested. And even though we've moved up the ladder in the Bahamas for obesity, this, I think, is the highest and most active we've ever been as Bahamians. And that's because of COVID. That's because of being locked down. The entire world is more active than it was before. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage, and Empire Fitness can be a part of that.
Well, my goal in 2025 is to get in the gym My wife goes to the gym 4 to 5 times a week and then walk in the morning. My daughter does track and field and basketball. When I reach home, my dog, he's running around the house. I'm the only one not exercising, so in 2025, I'm going to be, and hopefully I get to visit Empire.
Absolutely.
One day.
Absolutely.
But thanks a lot for joining us here on the show. A lot of knowledge here, Dr.
Thank
Ken
you.
Bazard.
Thank
Well,
you.
from one muscle man to the next muscle man, Amajal knows, fills us in.
Maybe in grade 1, grade 2, my uncle used to come outside and we used to go outside and just throw the football, and he always used to hype up the sport, you know, just on Sundays, me and him, just chilling, watching the couch, everyone just chilling with the boys.
That was Corey Moss, who hopes to be next in line as far as Bahamian gridiron stars are concerned, speaking on his introduction to the sport of football. Moss, a former student at Queens College, will take his football talent to Oxford, Ohio this fall as one of the newest members of the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, a Division I football program in the Mid-American Conference. As a 3-star recruit, his journey is certainly not an easy one, as outside of a late start to the game, he had to work his way back from a devastating ACL tear.
I asked other people for advice. They telling me I should just go back to the Bahamas, focus on track. Like, football is a sport where if you tear your ACL, you can't come back the same. So, but I had this one teammate, his name was Lawson Pritchard. He plays at Georgia Tech now, and he tore his ACL and he came back, and he just was keeping me motivated. My parents, my friends back home, they keep me motivated.
And his bounce-back senior year saw him garner some big accolades.
I ended off the season ranked top, I think, 150 corners in the nation, 3-star, all-state award for defensive back, all-state defensive back, all-conference defensive back. My team, we won the state championship, played on ESPN, and just was a good season altogether.
For Moss, he certainly has some lofty goals, and that includes playing on Sundays.
I hope to, if I do play, ball out freshman year, show the country, okay, like y'all slept on me, but now I'm still gonna show you, like, I'm that guy. And then from there, ball out against the best competition, earn some big awards, freshman All-American hopefully, or just any big award, and just take it one step at a time, one goal at a time, and hopefully one day 3, 4, 5, how much he has to take, hopefully the NFL.
Moss and Miami of Ohio opened their season up August 30th against the Wisconsin Badgers. For Time Out, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Thanks a lot, Amo. We'll be right back with the fitness tip on sports from the north.
Cool. So let's get some space. We go from here. Forget the jump. Up. There we go. That's it.
Winding down here on the timer, let's first go to the north and then the fitness tip.
It's no secret that the Sunline Stingers are one of the best basketball programs in the country, and they've got the resume to show for it. They're 5-time champions of the Tip-Off Basketball Classic here in Grand Bahama, and they've even gone as back-to-back champions of the Hugh Gamble Tournament in 2022 and 2023. But last year, the C.I. Gibson Rattlers had a lot to say about that, while the Sunline Stingers had the three-peat on their mind, defeating them in the title game. But all that's behind them, and the Sunline Stingers are coming for what they feel is theirs.
Just as I expect, the teams are going to get better. Teams are going to improve. Even here in Grand Bahama, Tabernacle, St. George's, Shaki with BMES, teams are improving. But Sunline has improved as well.
While they've got their focus locked on securing a regular season title in the GBSSAA, the Stingers know full well what an uphill battle the Hugh Campbell tournament is. With a new crop of players outside of returning guards Jermaine Woodside and Jamarion Albury, assistant coach Marco Cooper believes this team understands what it takes to get the job done.
We would have lost a lot of our key players, so we're pretty much in a rebuilding phase. But we run a system here that guys are They're learning. They're learning.
The new guys were on the outside looking in and had a great view of what it takes to compete at a championship level. The coaching staff has confidence they will be ready for their first drum ball of the tourney.
They understand that we have built a winning history, and they realize how hard work gets you to that point, and so they've bought into the system. They're eager to learn. They come out and they play hard, and that has put us in a good position.
Any given day, teams can find themselves on the brink of elimination. That said, everyone has to be on the same page. Given their recent luck, Cooper is confident the team knows how important each game is.
I think our guys have a sense of urgency, knowing and keeping a chip on their shoulder, understanding that teams are gonna come after you. You're coming in as one of the top teams, and so you're gonna get team's best shot every single time.
However, for Albury and Woodside, they believe the team chemistry is at max capacity, and they plan to send a message from the opening tip.
We build more chemistry together on the trip, so we're confident in this tournament. I think anybody could beat us this time, because we're going hot. Showtime. We're a very exciting team, very unselfish, so it's a lot of flashy passes, a lot of dunks, a lot of trees, so I'll just say showtime.
For the timeout, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Hi, Time Out fans. I am Shaquelle Reckley, aka Quelly the Body, your new fitness tip instructor. Here at Empire Fitness Gym, I am going to show you how to perform a proper squat. With your legs shoulder width apart, you're going to sit back as if you're sitting in a chair, ensuring that your chest is not over your knees. Stand back up, squeezing your glutes. From the side, chest up, sit back in the chair, stand back up. I hope that helps you with your new fitness journey for 2025. And remember, be your own body goals. Until next time, stay fit.
You step back and jump. There you go. Let's try this again. So you're gonna jump and land off the same leg. So let me do this slowly again. So back, jump, land, lunge. Jump, land, lunge. Jump, land, lunge. It's real easy to do.
That's going to put a wrap on this edition of The Time Out. I'd like to thank my special guest, Dr. Ken Bazard, for joining us here. Lots of knowledge, and he's given me the incentive for 2025. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for another edition of The Time Out.